Good day, everybody. Time for a gut check from the Mountaineer Maniac. I haven't done one in quite some time. I traditionally try to stay away from real controversial subjects because that's not my intent. But today I'm going to talk about one that seems to be in the limelight quite a bit lately, and that's gender identity. I want to talk to you about, be very specific about gender identity for young kids, kindergarten, first, second, and third grade. All right. Now, I'm a firm believer of letting kids be kids, let them be innocent as long as possible. They're going to learn the harsh realities of the world soon enough. But I've oftentimes been asked, Paul, how do you know when your child is at a certain age that you can begin to discuss these things? Well, I had a very open dialogue with my girls, and I thank God for that. And they would oftentimes, 5, 6, 7 years old, they'd come up and ask me a particular question, whether it was sexual or whatever. And my first response to them every time was, explain to me what you know. And so they had explained it to me, what they knew. And so my explanation back, I kept it at the level of their understanding. I didn't have to get into the deep weeds. I didn't have to go into different types of gender, et cetera, et cetera. Then a few years later, if they came back to me again, I would do the same thing. Explain to me what you know. And I'd let them explain it to me. And I would correct whatever was wrong with their understanding, explain it to them on their level. And they were fine with it, and they would go off. So my thought is this, okay? This is one of my gut feelings. All right, today, if you have a young girl who likes to do traditional masculine things, okay? And I'm talking about traditional masculine things, get in the mud, whatever, okay? We used to call them tomboys. Doesn't mean that they were struggling with their identity. It just means that they like to do more traditional male things. They still were girls. And I could say the same thing about young boys. They might prefer to do traditional feminine characteristics or feminine playing. Doesn't mean that they're struggling with their gender as far as whether or not they were a boy or a girl. They were still a boy. Folks, we need to let kids be kids. Take some of the arguing out. They'll figure out their gender soon enough. I'm not saying that we shouldn't instruct children, but we need to keep it on a level that they could understand. Kindergartners, first, second, third grade, gender isn't a issue with them. Okay, they're little boys play with little girls and everything. There's really not a whole lot of identity there. So, folks, let's let kids be innocent. Let them be kids. And I challenge you to have a conversation today with somebody that has a different opinion than you. Do a good deed and be kind to somebody. And folks, I'm not a professional. That's just my gut feeling.